Welcome back to Crush Improv Plays Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Andrew, joined tonight by Brooke, Jordan, Dan, and Christine. Al, unfortunately, cannot be with us tonight, which means Norman cannot be with us tonight. So he has gone off to do something interesting. What that is, we'll find out later. So when we last left our party, you had all returned from your extended voyage out to the lair of the lizard folk people, and had successfully defeated, slain Thousand Teeth the Devourer, a giant crocodile, which was enough to convince the lizard folk that you were okay folk, and that your alliance with Saltmarsh could be solidified. There is one outstanding piece of business that I forgot to bring up last time, which is that Sariv, the aged lizard folk minister, takes you aside and mentions that he paid a down payment to Bloody Captain Sigurd for the weapons that he was promised. And since he knows that you have taken out Sigurd, he's wondering if he either will get his weapons or his money back.
I thought the wizards were able to get those weapons in the end. Were they not?
It has not been established by anything I'm aware of.
The city has them.
I thought the lizards.
Yes.
I thought the lizards left to go and get them. Because remember, we went off the ship, and then the lizards were like, meh, 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 where's our sir? And then when we came back, they were gone. We're like, oh crap, they went to go get their weapons. Let's go. And then we came across the lizard group, but we never had the discussion of, hey, did your buddies show up? Did they get their weapons?
So to lay it plain, when you told the guards that, hey, there's all this stuff down here, they packed it all up and brought it back to Saltmarsh. So they brought the weapons back to the Hool Tower, the Hool Watch Tower. They brought all of the merchant goods back to the Merchants Guild. So that's what happened to all the crates of Morning Stars and shields and spears and such. They all went back to the Hool Watch Tower. That X marks the spot was where Sigurd was going to meet the lizard folks to do the trade, the final amount that he was owed for the weapons.
I see. Well, I think they shouldn't be trading with pirates, and just take your loss, kids.
Okay. Well, how much of a down payment did he lose?
He tells you that he gave Sigurd a bag of pearls that represents about 800 gold pieces.
Holy
economy.
Petunias.
So
that was the down payment?
Yep.
My lord.
There were a lot of weapons.
Do you know how many huts 35s you can get for that? Quite a few huts. The hut market is really going up in price too, though.
Honestly, I feel like
they should have invested in huts.
I think they should go to the city. This is an issue with the city where the city now has those weapons and they can say, we feel that we have the right to them because we made a payment. And I don't know, like it's just kind of beyond us at this point. We don't have the weapons anymore.
They have arbiters, don't they, at the city?
Yes, they have an extensive legal system that will probably make no sense to the lizard folk. It's worth noting that the weapons were, you figured that they were definitely stolen from the Hool Watch Tower.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they shouldn't have bought stolen weapons. Like I just feel like
I think that's the
poor
message.
Use of their money. They should have done that.
We don't have to worry about our.
Did they have insurance?
Purchase insurance.
They did not have purchase insurance.
See?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Come on, guys.
Well, Sariv clicks his fingers together and says he would either like his money back, or if you could arrange that the city might honor this agreement, however it was made, because he doesn't know the city's customs. He doesn't know the customs of that people. He just dealt with Sigurd. He didn't know where those weapons were. He just knew that he was never going to be able to deal directly with the city because they don't have they had no relations up till this point.
Could we say this to him, that we can't promise him anything, that we'll certainly do what we can, if not through monetary compensation, then perhaps in the help that money was going to provide them being able to defend themselves, that somehow we will argue in their interest to see if we can help them still. And, considering we just killed that giant crocodile.
I wouldn't go that far, Tergar.
Okay, look, you're the diplomat.
I would say they have a case that can be made with the city's arbitration.
Yeah, it's not our problem.
But we can agree that since we're already heading there, we can say, all right, we'll put in a word and we'll get them to send.
Yes,
we'll
put in a
get
word.
them to send a message, and we'll say that we think we will advocate that it would create good relations with the city and the lizard folk if they could honor a previously written agreement, but we cannot promise this clickety lizard. We're not in charge of the city.
Well, he says, I care not how it happens. All I care about is the weapons that my people desperately need to defend themselves against the Sahagin.
Yeah, but we're also,
is it just the Sahagin, or are they also?
The city is also going to fight the pirates too. You're not alone. But
the Sahagin are in league with the pirates, yes?
I don't know if that has been established, but their pirates are a thing. They're definitely a fact of life on the coast, but the Sahagin are. I think one of you made a decent roll about Sahagin, so you know that they are xenophobes generally. They just like to own everything and drain its blood and suck the marrow from its bones, that kind of thing.
Lord.
So basically, Sauriv would say, it would point to those fancy crocodile teeth that now drape your necks and say, as members of the tribe, we would be greatly appreciative of your role in this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you cannot make it happen, then I'll gladly take back the pearls that represented our down payment.
Oh, so now that's a smart idea. At the very least, do we have the bag of pearls, or does the city?
We sure do.
Sorry, we do, or the city does?
You have it.
Oh, let's just give him back the pearls.
Yeah, give him back the pearls. I don't give a shit about the pearls.
I don't give a.
Give him back the pearls, and then say, go and properly buy these from the people whom they were stolen from.
Well, right? we can still put a good word in.
Yeah, we'll still put a good word in, but he should keep the pearls, and then we should say they're going to go back to the people whom already owned them, and they can sell them to you properly. Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know we had the pearls.
Oh yeah, that was part of the treasure that you found on Captain Sigurd's boat. So yeah, he would definitely appreciate a good word. His experience with humans is that they don't look fondly on the lizard folk. Certainly don't appreciate them as legitimate customers and view them with suspicion. So a good word would go an awful long way.
Well, how about would you like to write? I haven't been Nimid all this whole time. Why don't you write a grocery list of sorts? Specific things that you might like from the city, and we'll kind of go grocery shopping for you. How does that sound?
If you would be our agent, that would be delightful.
Just a second. I'm noticing grimaces among my comrades. Just a sec. Jojo, you've got a grimace on your face?
I don't know what are we doing with these guys? I thought our hands were clean from this group.
I think there's more to this.
I thought we were moving on.
Well, it seems like the DM doesn't want us to. So.
DM would just like to reflect that Sauriv doesn't want to get stiffed as a result of this whole lovely episode.
I love when we.
I want to see how the DM would react if we just said, "Here's the pearls. We're going to put a good word in. We wish you the best of luck."
But then Nim on the side's like, "Just give me them.
Do you remember when we first started playing and Andrew gave us the whole Orlane quest and said, "So do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe we'll go somewhere else." I didn't know.
I feel like fishing.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Cool. So, long story short, you're giving him back the pearls and saying you're just going to give him a word?
Yeah,
or...
but Nim's like, if he still had a contract or whatever, she'll take it and she'll pass it forward with a good word to the masons or not the masons, but the armory and the blacksmiths who will eventually get their things back. and basically teach them to not be xenophobic towards these lizards because they're fascinating.
Okay. The what was I going to say? Right. So he takes back the pearls, says thank you very much, and that would be great if you could put in a good word. And now we can fast forward back to where I had set up, and that you have returned. You have all had a night's sleep, and you are waking the next day. It is raining. It is not surprising that it's raining. It was raining when you walked back. It's still raining, and the wind is whipping the rain off the bay into salt marsh. So it's just not generally pleasant today. Is there anything you would like to do today?
Well, I'd like to have a personal chat with the group.
As would I.
I had a bad dream last night.
Tell me everything.
So did I.
So did I.
Tell me everything, all of you.
Nima, did you have a bad dream?
Yes, but I would love to hear about yours, and then I will tell you mine because I believe they're all related to a demon.
Okay, mine was. And
Jenkins pours you coffee all around.
Thank you, Jenkins.
I want to. I'm telling you this because I trust all of you. The dream was sexual in nature.
With
Go
whom?
on.
I know with whom.
With my god, Alona.
Oh.
But Nima's right here.
Details.
Oh no. Oh no, it was very
Details.
clearly they were meant for each other.
And she turned into some kind of monster at the end.
Oh. Jeez.
And it was a bit of a.
Nim's like furiously writing all of this down.
It wasn't a good end to the dream. I was quite scared, and I woke up covered in sweat, and I heard a sadistic cackling, kind of like Emperor Palpatine in the trailer for that latest Star Wars movie.
The what?
Nothing. It was just part of the dream.
Star Wars film. And
So much has to be unpacked in that last statement. Yeah.
Tergar, please.
Well, I had a dream where I was a wolf, which is not uncommon for me, because let me tell you, running wild in the forest as a wolf is exhilarating. But in this one, I was in a desert, and there was this ziggurat, this temple, and there was a wind coming from the temple.
Hold on. Now that you mentioned ziggurat,
Yes.
my dream also had a ziggurat.
What?
And but I wasn't in the desert. Oh no, I was in a desert oasis too. I was in the same spot as you were. Now that you mention it. Yeah.
You were in the desert as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was and in the dream I got really hungry, like hungrier than I've ever felt before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw these poor deer that I wouldn't normally do this in real. I would never do this in real life. But I just mauled this poor deer and felt so good eating it. And I just felt a ferocity that I have never felt before in my life. And let me tell you, I can feel ferocious.
Now, brother, friend.
Yes.
Yeah,
brother.
Did your dream also involve strips of paper with
yes.
red writing?
Yes. They were coming from the ziggurat.
From the ziggurat, yeah.
Even though I was being pulled towards it, these things were coming from it at me. It was like I was running down an escalator going up. Sorry, it's a futuristic technology that I think the gnomes are working on.
Guys, everybody sit down.
Okay.
You're never going to believe what I dreamt about.
Do it in song.
Give me a beat, Jojo. There once was a lady named Glonda, and she also saw a ziggurat, and there were also papers with blood ink. So we went to the ziggurat, and we saw a lot of food, and we ate a lot of food, and we never got full. And what does that mean to me?
Oh, and I should tell you too, even after I woke up, I could still smell a sickly sweet odor in the room.
It's sickly sweet. That's how
That's
I
how
would
I
describe
that's
the
how
smell
I would
too.
describe it as well.
Yeah.
It's
Were
sickly
you
sweet.
also soaked in sweat?
Yeah.
Yes, just
Mm.
drenched.
Guys, we shouldn't all cuddle at the same time after eating ice cream so close before going to bed.
Norman is still in bed, feverish, I think, from his dream. But I must admit, all of you, I think I know what's behind this.
What is behind it?
I gave Norman, he was having trouble sleeping, so I gave him a sleeping pill.
Ah.
I realized I accidentally gave him a 2-week-long sleeping pill.
Oh. That'll explain it. None of my spells were awakening him. Well, may I just tell you that my dream began in the same way, but when I made it to the ziggurat, I noticed that each one of you were in there having your own carnal experience. And I was able to notice that my experience was a dream because of my deep connections, of course, with divination and dreams. And may I just tell you the sexiest thing that I saw? He was physically impressive. He was a lithe, muscular humanoid, and he towered over me about 9 feet tall, and his skin shone like an obsidian polished rock, and his eyes glittered with malevolent green light, and his yellowed fangs and pointed ears and slender fingers were on each hand, and he had thick black hair, and I saw 6 little black horns through him, and elegant rippling shoulders, and his chest was bare. But Nim's just like, she'll just go on and on explaining to you this creature that she saw.
Only half of these things you're mentioning sound sexy, and then the other half
I know.
The other half
don't
I'm
sound
like,
sexy at all.
Well aware.
Sound like a
Well
demon.
aware. But let me just finish then with his thighs being covered with the tacet of equally impressive construction. And at the end of his legs were hooves instead of feet. So even though I was fighting feelings of attraction, he was, of course, quite a monstrous appearance. And I was aware that he was a creature of complete evil. And he essentially was attempting to release himself. And you were all so quick to your carnal desires, but he noticed that I was not as quick to give in, and that I was going to be some challenge for him to crack. So we must stop everything and determine who this demon is. I will go no further in my journey. I will not go to the wyvern. I will not go and help the lizard folk.
No,
this dream
I disagree.
Everything.
We have to renegotiate the deal with the lizard.
I will not go back. That was a long, wet journey, and I will not go back.
Well, look.
Sounds like your
Nimerian,
dream was a long, wet journey.
And when you say he wanted to, what was it? Unleash on you?
Release. He would like to. He's hidden, and we are the key to his release into the world.
Oh, I see.
He's like locked into the ziggurat, you think?
I think so. Yes.
Now, is it a metaphorical ziggurat, or is this a real place, do you think?
It's like I'll have to do so much research. I'm going to need weeks worth of time in the library. I'll need to do pilgrimages.
What?
We might need to fast forward through it all. I don't know, but I need my answers.
I've got some manacles and ball bearings in my bag. Could that help?
I hope so, Togar. I hope so.
Here's my cricket sound effect. I will tell you right off the bat, it is not a place that you recognize. It's certainly not a place that you recognize.
Are there any deserts around here?
I think it must be in a different plane. We're looking at a different plane right now.
That's what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say.
I don't know. My DM's making a face. Maybe that's not what I think.
It looked deserty, but it had that rainforest edge. You're again not aware of any. I don't think your characters would have had desert experience, but you don't know this part of the world. So there could be a desert nearby.
Well, we could ask around.
Good.
Let's find
why don't we start
sunburned person in this village.
Yeah.
Somebody who looks like they've been to a desert.
Maybe our good friend Andy will know.
Our good friend will know?
Andy Solmore.
Anders?
Oh, Anders Solmore. Yes. Yeah, maybe. Well, as you are relating your dreams, Jenkins clears his throat and says, Excuse me, sirs, madam.
Oh, how rude. We are in the middle of a conversation.
Jenkins.
May you please come back when we
Hold
are
on,
that
Jenkins,
is
did you have a-
disrespectful.
Jenkins, did you have a sexy dream
excuse
last
me, I
night?
shall return. I did. I had very bad dreams last night, but I'm afraid I cannot remember the particulars. I just know that I woke up earlier than normal and more tired than normal.
Okay, what
Were
was
you
the
drenched
most
in sweat?
recent?
Was there a sweet smell?
What was the most recent sex fantasy you've had?
It wouldn't be appropriate for me to relate such details, sir, to my health. Let me just leave these messages here for you, and I will leave you to your deliberations.
Jenkins.
These messages are all written in the same blood red ink.
And they say to go to the mansion where old Mr. Wanderenson died.
Let's go, gang.
Let's go, gang. Into the van.
Ruh-roh.
Is Pizraeli still with us?
No, that's the other item of business. Is the unknown person who has been shadowing along. That Jordan is one of the only people that understood him. Anyway, yes, after learning of this danger the Sahagin posed, he said it's been a lot of fun hanging with you, and thank you for rescuing me and all that. I have to go back to my undersea village to warn my people of this threat.
That boy leveled up. He was useless in battle.
Yeah, he really did not.
Oh,
I'm
and
really
what about
shocked
the
he didn't
tree?
die.
The end.
The tree went back.
Yeah.
The ent went back.
Baruch.
Went back into his forest realm.
Okay, so we're gonna press
he was my
pause on
favorite.
everything, and we got to figure out this demon thing, huh?
Oh boy.
Well, here's what we. So, what did Jenkins give us?
He
Letters.
gave you 2 messages that
Okay.
have come in.
Please
Well, let's read these messages.
let us.
Okay, the first one is from Molak, the shipwright. It merely says, "See me when you can." It's about your ship, and then it's signed with a scrawled M, and it's done in cheap paper. The second one is a note from Lord Timurticos, the Lord Mayor of Saltmarsh, and it is a dinner invitation for tonight at his estate, just down the road from your house where you are right now. And he had alluded to this earlier to Jojandron, that he would be honored to have you for dinner. The heroes of Saltmarsh and a couple other of the city's luminaries will be there to, fet you appropriately. I mean, it doesn't say all that, but you get the gist of the message.
Was Timurticos that older fella who I befriended?
Yes. So those are your 2 messages.
Well, I think we can do both those things then, right? Go and see what's going on with Molak to see if our little ship is ready, and then make plans to have dinner tonight with Lord Timurticos.
DM, where is the nearest library on arcane demons and whatnot in this area, if there is any, or is it up at the temple?
Well, the Temple of Bokab has probably the most arcane knowledge. Scuttlebutt around town is that one of the lieutenants in the watch. I said scuttlebutt around town, Mrs. Nimralian Scuttlebutt, as she's known, is that one of the lieutenants in the guard also has a fairly sizable library. I mean, by medieval standards, it's not huge, but it's got some books. There might also be some tomes of knowledge in one of the temples. There are 3. So there's no library per se, but you would probably find books, valuable objects, either in private collections, or the temples would have their various tomes related to their religions that might touch on. You were looking for demons specifically?
This specific one, because I could tell it was pure evil, so I need to figure out what realm it might be in, and that sort of thing, and figure out as much as I can about it.
So should we do this then?
Well,
during the day, I could go with Glonda about the ship, and Jojo can go with you on a fun library trip.
Yeah, and I mean, I could also go alone. Like if nobody else wants to go to the library and read, I don't think it's.
I just feel like us splitting up and being alone is dangerous, even in this city. I think we've got targets on our back, as you know,
That's
those
fair.
imps we're following us, and we're high profile now.
Yeah. May I do a quick roll? Well, maybe I don't need to. Never mind. I guess it's just that I'm as
You
a
need to roll your
researcher.
portent,
Oh yeah, thank you.
because it's a new day, so let's get that sorted.
Okay. But since as a researcher, I should know if I don't know information about something, I know where to find
Yep.
said information. So is that what you have just told me? Is like where to find?
That's exactly what I've just told you.
Okay,
So
beautiful.
there's your portent rolls, 5 and a 13. Delightful.
Would that be an arcana or a history roll, that type of knowledge that she's seeking?
About demons specifically, it might even be a religion roll.
Okay. Do you want me to roll right now, or do you want me to roll
Sure.
and then? Okay, I'll roll right now.
What is your
5.
okay,
Anybody who wants can roll this to see if it's like, wait a second, I heard a little something about that.
Sure, I'm going to do that. That's kind of fun. Why is everything so small? Oh,
I haven't even opened.
Okay, so I got 15
North
out of
Star
20.
yet.
Okay.
What do I roll? Just public D20?
Yep, and add your religion score to that.
That would be a 20 for me.
20 for you.
Not a natural 20, but
dirty.
Yep, no, a dirty 20, yes.
Dirty 20.
You said something while you're muted, then unmuted, and then muted again, Christine.
18.
18.
What are you drinking,
And
Christine?
just-
What is that?
Sorry, I just have to open.
Oh, vodka soda?
Yeah, those are good.
Vodka.
Pardon me.
You're excused.
Not a problem.
Okay, and my religion bonus is okay.
You are a paladin, so I'd hope you have pretty good religion.
It says 0.
Oh, okay. I take it all back.
But I did get a natural 15.
You did. That's not bad. So none of you are like, oh my God, that is totally X. But it you are. So for the people who are not Nimmerilian, this is in Nimmerilian's description that you are like perking on. Wait a second, could it be this? And for Nimmerilian specifically, and you rolled, what was your total?
15?
It was 15. Okay. So none of you knocks it out of the park to be like, oh, it's got to be this. But you all definitely go, it sounds like a demon, to be sure. Like from what I remember about, you know, the stories I've read and such, it sounds definitely like a demon. There are many that, you know, they have their particular interests and what they want to have happen. But generally they can't freely exist on your world, so they can only come if they're summoned, or if they have some special power that they're able to, you know, manifest if they get some object. Invariably, they all have cults, so there are definitely cults on this world that worship these demons, and their cult worshippers get certain benefits by pledging their loyalty and their service to these demons. So that is something that you all would know, but again, you don't know exactly which one this is. It doesn't like immediately go, oh, it's definitely that one.
Okay.
Jordan.
How common are ziggurats in this world?
As ancient structures go, not super common, but I would say it more like, oh, you know what? I think we need to have a stone cutting roll. I think this is definitely an opportunity. I know. Look at that, right?
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's Glanda's time to shine. Here comes the D20.
Oh.
Oh my God. What do I do with it? History. So that's 14 plus 2, 16.
That's
That
good.
feels wrong. No, it's plus 7 proficiency.
I was about
Oh.
to say, because stone cutting is like super
20.
amazing for you.
20.
21?
Just 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Just 20? All right, well, that is enough. You note that it is definitely an ancient structure. It has, and this is like what you basically cast a glance in a dream before like you were super interested in chowing down on all that food. So these are like details that you're like, wait a second, in my dream, I remember this. So super old, not local. So not something that dwarves would have built, not something that people in your travels would have built. But it seems like a structure of worship. So it dedicated to something. And there's probably an interior portion to it. So it's a lot of stairs up to a central platform, but some way to get inside it. Those are what you get out of that.
Who were the religious folks that we'd met here? There
The
was
Druids?
There was a shady priest type guy at the back of the room.
Well, it was the
Council,
Druid, right? That
And there was also at the temple.
So to answer your question, you've met one of the people on the council is a priestess of Pelor. Her name is Lady Lyra Avessa. And Pelor is your typical sun god, god of the hearth, very beneficent god. Alona gets along fine with Pelor. Then there is also Lyra Tolivar, who is a druid who would also know of Alona. I don't know if she would be a worshiper of her. Then there's also a temple of so the Temple of Bokob, they're not really religious. They're more like magic's cool, and we should know everything we know about that.
Okay.
There's a temple of Farlagan, a temple of Cord. Cord is a sort of god of war and strength. I forget what the temple of Farlagan is, but you haven't met that guy yet anyway. So,
well, I just want to.
All these are beneficent gods. They're not like, oh, and that temple over there, that's where the Satanists are.
Right.
Here's
So,
an
none of that in
interesting
Saltmarsh.
thing is that I dreamt of Lady Tolliver. And it was a strange dream where I was being told she needed help. I know that Nimarillion, you had sort of bad vibes about that. Jojo, what happened with you?
I had vibes that Jojo was going to kill you with his greatsword.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if all of this isn't connected somehow. That's like we're being played in our sleep to do things. We're being prodded in a direction that maybe we shouldn't be going in. Like, do we go to Lady Tolliver and ask her about this and see what
she was no help, I feel like, when we went last time. She was absolutely.
And what are we trying to
unhelpful.
do, right? Like, I guess we're just at this point, we're just staying open and looking to see if we can learn anything of this. In the meantime, we're here to get Glanda's ship, and we all have this sort of sinking feeling that maybe something bigger is on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, yeah, if you go to Lady Tolliver, I have very bad vibes about her. And I think Terragar is even starting to, I think I'm, as Terragar, feeling not very comfortable around her. Like, I don't think I'm smitten with her like I was. Because he's not dumb. But we could go to her to see how she reacts to some questioning about a ziggurat and a demon and these dreams we have. I don't know.
Yeah,
it could
I
be
guess.
dangerous doing that too.
What about Keladek?
That's
Keladek
the wizard. Is Keladek the
Mm.
wizard that I was talking about earlier?
Is he the one that has the
Yeah,
imp
the
on
sorcerer.
us?
He was the one with the imp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone's working with imps.
Wait. I should say the imp fingered
Excuse
Keladek.
me.
Keladek has not claimed Keladek has not claimed ownership of the imp. The imp said it was Keladek that sent me.
Is there a chance that some of these people will be at the dinner tonight?
There is a chance.
Okay.
So
The
maybe
dinner, the invite list has not been given to you.
Yeah, like we could wait to see if Lady Tolliver show. I don't really want to go back to her island. Her island freaks me out, and I almost died on that island.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough.
saving Norman.
I'm just looking at our notes. We have at the bridge, the imp says his master is Keladek. He was ordered to follow us and see what we did. BTW imps are bad, so Kelladek is probably bad. End quote.
I probably wrote that.
Yeah.
I think that's yeah.
I
So
stand by that.
Kelladek and Lady Tolliver are giving me bad vibes. Kelladek for sure.
But yeah, I think Lady is still coming from a sincere place. She seemed sincere. It just seemed she seemed unhelpful. Whereas Kelladek is not, I don't think, coming from
I don't
a
know
good
that
place.
she's sincere. Like, we had such a negative experience with her in her temple. Like, she was.
Yeah, but she was just a bit of a turd.
Yeah,
She was a sincere turd.
maybe. Yeah, you're right. Like, she wasn't trying to. Yeah.
She didn't have this.
But you also didn't trust her.
No, she didn't trust me. As soon as she saw me, I was just like looking around, and she's like, "That person," and she just got really.
But don't you find
angry
that
at me.
weird? Don't you find that weird?
Yeah.
You want to go?
Weird.
Do you want to go throw hands?
That's what the session needs, is a bit of fighting.
Sailor talk.
Let's get on with it.
All right. Yeah, we should get moving
Thank
here.
you, DM. All right, let's go. What the first one was about meeting with whom?
Moloch.
Moloch. Do you want to go towards Moloch? And if there's places along the way, I'll just stop and grab some books.
Well, I refer you to your map of Saltmarsh, which I will helpfully throw on to.
I haven't had this music on the whole time.
Oh yeah, I keep.
Do whatever
I think
you
it makes
want.
sense to. What about the original plan where Neem and I
Splitting,
would go to the libraries and then tear.
I like that idea.
Let's do
I
it.
think
Let's do
I'll
it.
go with Glonda to the shipyards and
Done.
And then we'll meet
Yeah.
up for dinner tonight.
we'll meet up for dinner tonight.
Perfect.
At the old flounder pounder.
No.
No,
Oh, somewhere better. Somewhere better.
we're better.
At Lord Timurticos Mansion, definitely a step up. Yeah. It's like here to here.
Nah, I'm used to what I'm used to.
Okay, so from your house to get to the shipyard,
Shit.
that will of course involve a crossing of the good old shark fin bridge.
Even
Not
for
if
me
I
and
turn into
JoJo?
Not if I turn into
Well,
a fish.
That's true. There's a variety of ways to avoid crossing that bridge. But yes, if you want to go down to the shipwright, that doesn't involve you swimming.
We still haven't
through
figured
the-
that out. I wonder if that's part of this too, right? Like there's a curse there, and we figured out it was a curse, correct?
That
on the
was your
bridge?
assessment.
Yes.
Hold on a minute.
Could it be a portal there?
It's interesting.
Never mind.
So where would you want to? Sorry, for Nimralian, where would she want to go to find any reference materials?
So
Where
yeah,
would
you
her-
listed a couple of them. I was somehow intrigued by you said like something about Lieutenant Scarred might having a good. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the word on town is that City Watch, Iborian Kelstinar, who is the commander of the Hool Watch Tower. You haven't met him yet because up until very recently, and Jankus would be able to tell you all this, he's been up north in the Dreadwood dealing with some incursion of monsters, but that has been dealt with. They came back last night before you did. But
Okay.
he is known to have, after the Temple of Okop, he's known to have the largest library in town. That's kind of his thing. He likes books.
Then let's go there because I
So-
don't really like the people at the Temple of Bokop. They were trying to shortchange me or whatever. So
And Andrew, I am.
Make a profit? Right.
I'm turning into
A
a fish and
far
going
larger
across the
profit
river
than
that
we
way.
did.
By the way, Glonda, I'll see you on the
Okay.
other side. I'm not getting sick today.
I'm just gonna walk across because I'm immune because I'm strong. Suckers!
I turned into
Okay,
a mighty
so-
smallmouth bass.
Oh, lovely. And so is Jordan and Brooke that are going to go to? You could go to the Hool Watch Tower without crossing the bridge.
let's do it.
All right. So let's go to the Hula Watch Tower first, because I think that's going to be first, and then we will go to the shipyard. So camera follows Glonda and Jojandron. Sorry, not Glonda. Nimrilian and Jojandron. I don't know if they have a cool branding couple name where you mash the two names together.
We're not a couple.
No, I know.
We were.
But
things have happened between us, but
listen, it's the
Jorillian
mark of
is
any
the-
good.
Everyone's talking about Joe Rillian these days.
Jorillian. It's the mark of any good serial, the will they, won't they factor in a show, right?
No
that's
one's
what I'm
ever-
trying to.
she just
Golden
watched.
Grams.
She just
No.
watched a
Sugar
pretty
Crisp.
intense interaction between him and his
Lucky
goddess,
Charms.
so I think she understands her place.
No one's ever
Fair enough.
talking about Tergla.
And I know now that I'm not Nima's type because I don't have hooves and 12 horns.
To be fair,
And what was
Not
it?
9
The
feet
thighs?
tall and
Yeah.
obsidian skin.
Like balanced thighs or
Mm.
something?
So
the
balanced.
tacet. Yes, the tacet is armor that covers the
Oh.
thighs. An armored plate, as it were. Okay, so you arrive at the Hula Watch Tower, a big walled structure that raises up. The tower part raises up 3 stories. It's easily the tallest structure in Saltmarsh, and it sits on a little hillock, so it has a pretty commanding view.
A virtual
You've been here
CN
before.
tower.
Very much for the time. There's a hub of activity here. Everybody who doesn't have to be outside is inside because it is still rainy and miserable. There are a pair of guards which flank the main entrance to the building.
Okay. Well, let's go on in. Let's see what books we might be able to find, eh, Jojo?
Yeah, I'm here to help.
Oh, how many words can you read per minute?
Yeah, I definitely can read a word per minute.
Excellent. Excellent. Onward.
So at the gate, you are addressed. You are stopped. They sort of do that thing where they mosey in front of you and say, "Hi, hello, welcome to the Hula Watch Tower.
I
Do you have
grab
business
my
here?"
greatsword.
Oh, now Jojo, no,
Nope.
we're
We
all
switch
nope,
to the
we're all
combat
right.
music. Hold on.
We're all right. No. Pardon me, my friend does not quite understand.
Sorry,
Your
I mean,
greeting.
let me do a mulligan there. Good day,
Well,
gents.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me switch back
Mulligan.
to the regular music. Yes. Okay. There we go.
Good day. We are in desperate need of access to the library in this exceptional building and to speak with Idgard Ickerbach.
Right. I'll throw you his name because it was quite one. And boom. There it is in chat.
Iborian Kelstenar, who I've heard is now just back from a triumphant event.
Event. He's like, you want to talk to the commander?
Yes.
All right. Sorry about books or something. And they look at each other like,
Yes, books. They're hard-covered structures with papers on the inside, which often have text on them.
right, okay. You boy. And a little 8-year-old kid in rags runs over and says, "Yeah." Like, go pass the word to the commander. They got some visitors here that want to talk about books, something. And the kid says, "Oh, right, okay." And he runs inside.
You can
And
tell I'm
they-
of noble birth. Too late.
Jojo.
Sorry, I thought I'd throw it in there.
Time passes. They offer you no idea whether they're going to let you in or anything like that.
Do you know any fun games, Jojo?
Sure, I can balance my sword on my chin.
Oh, please.
All right.
Oh, exquisite, Jojo. Look at this.
The guards take a keen interest in this. There may be even wagers placed.
Are any of you
okay.
capable of doing that, guards? Hmm?
I'm like, Oh, I don't think I want to balance this lot on my chin. And he pulls out his long sword. Castle steel, sure, but it ain't worth a damn.
Oh.
Let's pan our camera over to the shipyard where Glonda and a fish pops out of the water.
Here, fishy, fishy.
To Tirgar. And yeah, you find yourselves outside of Moloch's shipyard. You hear the sounds of industry inside. All the ships that are normally here have gone out for a normal day of fishing, despite the rain.
Hello, Malak.
Okay, you make your way inside to look for Molak and whatever he has message to give you, and you find him supervising the replating of a hull that is laid up inside the shipyard. And when he sees you, he inclines his head and walks over.
Malak, my old friend.
Glonda, how was your travels?
Crazy. We defeated Thousand Tooth the Devourer. Heard of him? Legendary.
1,000 teeth, eh?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty powerful.
A lot of teeth.
That is a lot of teeth.
I've only got like 30.
That's a pretty good number when you need teeth.
Yeah.
Listen, I could talk about teeth all day, but let
Me
me show
too.
you this piece of junk you brought in here. And he
Great.
says, he pulls you over, and he points to a series of ribs that look very similar to the ship that you brought in, but all of the hull plates, all the long strips that make up the hull have been removed. And he picks up a stick and he whacks it, and literally pieces of the rib fall off.
Mm.
He says, "We were doing a pretty good job of getting it back into shape. And then last night, this happened." And he starts pulling off pieces. It starts crumbling in his hand.
Mm.
He says, "I won't charge you for the work we done because you've done so much work for the city, but this ship will never float. I might be able to use it as a training aid for my journeyman, but I don't know what happened. I've never seen anything like it."
Sabotage. Did you see anyone around the shipyard last night that maybe shouldn't have been here? Did anyone see anyone that shouldn't have been here? Hanging around?
We have the journeymen stay here. I don't know if they had any altercations, but nothing was reported to me. We just were working on the journeymen have been working on this piece. I only cast an eye every once in a while to see how its progress is going, but it certainly was not like this last night, and it does not seem natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Oh, okay. You have this as a prepared spell?
I do. I did that earlier
Yeah.
today, yeah. I've never
Yeah,
prepared it. I changed things up.
Okay, you may make a perception roll for me, please.
So is that how that spell works?
Not,
Or is this
it's not
different?
normally.
Oh, okay.
It is a little different, but
Sure.
Yeah.
So that is a 4 plus 12. Oh wow. I have
Plus
good
8.
perception, eh? Yeah.
You do have good perception. Okay. So you detect the faintest glimmer of what appears to be an echo of magic.
Sabotage.
Yeah. It is definitely on the whole thing.
Glonda, I'm sorry. I know this was to be a step towards the Wyvern, but I think it's safe to say your quest for your ship is finished.
Damn, Tirgar, I thought we were going to try and come up with a solution or something, not just
I'm just
end
joking.
everything here.
I'm just
I'm
joking.
just kidding. You know what?
That's Druid humor. It's very dry. I'm sorry. It didn't land the way I intended it to.
Moloch, there has to be some other option for me. You can't just keep us landlocked here. We're trying to go save my ship to avenge the captain.
He's like, Rardath Faskutan, whose name we have officially established as being
Rardath, I know. I didn't know
He
you
was
knew
a good
him.
man. Oh, I knew him well. and he was a fair and honorable man. I too lament his loss, and I have no love for that Jack Terrigali that has your boat. I can ask around to see if there's a ship that might be of use, but I do not have anything that, well, I mean, you could commission something, but he wouldn't be ready for months. But there are no shortage of ships along these shores. There may be something.
I appreciate any help you could offer.
Could we speak to the journeyman?
Yeah, they're sitting there working.
We don't want
away
to
on the project.
Fringe and good Moloch. We don't suspect you at all, but I hope we wouldn't be impeding upon your work by speaking to the journeyman present last night.
No, please. I feel awful for what has happened under my watch, though I claim officially no responsibility for it. But if you wish to talk to the journeyman, please. They are surely entitled to some break.
Londa, was your ship insured?
I was putting away money monthly instead, just in case.
Yeah.
All right.
We're hypocrites.
No.
All right. That's fine.
Also, Jojo quoted some of our notes earlier, and I had an actual laughing fit as I read another quote from her, and I just have to read it out loud because I don't think anyone ever said it out loud. And it's in regards to the fact that we noticed that 4 ogres were attacking the tree ant. And it says, we have gone to help the ant because Dan wants to befriend a tree, and he loves Lord of the Rings, and Jordan deeply worries about trees. And I just had to share that it's just beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And also that the queen low-key doesn't care if the shaman returns.
Yeah.
There's some really nice stuff in our notes that I'm very proud of, very thankful for.
I feel very stupid when I write.
It's great.
Because I think I
It's
had
so
quite
great.
a bit.
Yeah, so sorry to go. I just had to share that because it's just joyful.
All right, so three of the journeymen are, they take a break and they go over to a big water trough and take ladle in some water, and Moloch passes a word and they look over your direction and shuffle it away over, sort of drying off their hands, presenting themselves for questions.
Would this be investigator, this role?
If you want to literally investigate them.
What do you
It depends
want
what you want to
Glonda?
do, Dan. That's or what either of you want to do. How you want to address this?
How do you want to address this, Glonda?
I'm not here to intimidate or nothing.
No, I don't want to
this is-
intimidate them. I just want to
'cause
ask
we're-
questions.
Yeah, we can ask questions. If do you want to play good cop, bad cop in a way, and I'll be good cop because I'm from here and they know me.
Sure.
And
I
you're
have
the
really shitty
investigation.
intimidation. No, I have good investigation.
Okay, my
Yeah.
intimidation is high, but I like them. Okay, I'll be bad cop.
Yeah, but you're
Okay, if
cute
we're doing
and
cops, I have to
fun.
do the Law and Order knock meme. So here we go.
Okay.
Done.
Thank you.
Hey guys, hey, could we just chat with you for a few minutes here? We have some questions about our ship and what happened last night. And
Yeah.
look,
it's
if you could,
strangest thing. Well, strange, very strange. Yeah.
and and the more you share with us, the easier this is going to go for you. I mean, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, and I certainly wouldn't want you to get pulled into this whole thing. But boy, like, did you see anything last night?
And they all sort of look at each other like, you want to say anything to this? Are we in trouble? I don't know. Like a lot of emotions
You're not in
pass
any
over their
trouble.
face.
You're not in any trouble. Look, I would do anything to prevent that from happening to you. You know.
Dan, make a persuasion roll for me.
Okay, which is -2.
Oh, lovely. You just have a way with people.
No, I love it.
A
That's a
natural one.
-3. That's a -3.
It's a -2, Dan.
Or sorry, -2. What did I
You-
thought out of minus?
You listen, it doesn't get any worse because
Wait,
you
hold
rolled a
on, what is
natural
my-
one.
Yeah, you're right.
It's very, very bad, is what it is. So,
It's
Matt is
funny.
saying the dice are sus. Okay.
I said I
yeah,
didn't want to
they.
intimidate.
Well,
You didn't.
it
You
comes off
persuaded.
as it comes off as the exact opposite of persuasion. So yeah, they feel like no, we didn't see nothing, and they clam up immediately.
Well, this is perfect because now that this opens the door to. Look, I tried to help you, but you're gonna have to talk to Glonda now. I'm sorry.
And then I appear from behind Terragar, just like half his height, and I walk forward and I go, listen up. It's not time to mess around anymore. My ship is useless, and one of you has to know what went down last night. Could it be magic? Maybe. Could it be one of you? Also, maybe. I'm not leaving till I get answers.
I call for inspiration to be added to this beautiful moment.
Perfect. Roll it at advantage, and it'll be your intimidation roll.
Okay.
Ooh,
19.
Not bad. 19. All right. They
this is perfect.
blanch
This is so perfect.
and back off sort of towards the hull. The pieces of it fall off as they edge into it as you're sort of pointing them back, and they say, okay, listen, okay, no one would believe it, so we didn't say anything, but listen to this. There was we were having some drinks. Moloch doesn't like it when we have drinks, and we were having drinks, and then this weird green mist started flowing into the warehouse. This is the weirdest thing, and it surrounded that boat of yours, and it just sat there hovering around it. And we were like, you see that? And then the other guy was like, I know. And I couldn't believe we saw it. And it was just there for like a minute, and then it faded away. And we didn't think nothing of it. And then in the morning, it was like you see now, it was falling to pieces. And he babbles a bit more.
I don't need you to keep talking. But I do want to know if you know where I can find a spare boat in the meantime.
It's like, you can have my rowboat if you want. It like points to this one-person boat at the back.
Not good enough.
And I hold you back. I'm holding you back, trying to, and they're cowering.
And then
Alright.
they continue babbling. This is and that smell, it was the worst too. Oh yeah.
You've been very helpful. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah. Have a nice day, gentlemen. Thank you.
Sorry, where did the mist come from? I got this feeling of what do you
I
want
think
me to
it's that-
say? What do you want me to do, Jared?
I wonder if it's that bastard that we don't like. What's his name? Oh, I'm in the wrong notes.
Kaladeck?
Yeah. He's the sorcerer. He'd do shit like that.
Like green mist?
Yeah. I don't like that guy. I don't like a lot of the people in this town. I'll tell you, Glonda.
Don't what?
And our friend Andy seems like an okay guy, but I'm even nervous around him a little bit. I feel like something odd is up.
Well, let's pan our camera back to the Hool Watch Tower, where after about 20 minutes of waiting in the rain, unless you managed to find.
I think what we might have done is roused a little bit of the guards to like try to do their like we entertained them and they entertained us, and we felt like that 20 minutes went by nice and quickly.
Sure did, and they allow you to cower around their little campfire to warm yourself up. And after about 20 minutes,
is this a good time for a break?
Oh yes, absolutely. We are at 8:30. Well done, sir. Well done.
I
So
need
let's
some more
do our
wine.
our intermission. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, starting So, when last we were here, we had Joe Jongeron and Nimrilian standing in the rain outside of Who'll Watch Tower, and 20 minutes passed, and eventually a well-armored half-elven man
Well,
in his
armored.
late 30s. Yes, he's
He's
wearing full plate armor.
Full plate of armor in his house. Okay.
This is not his house. This is the Who'll Watch Tower, which is a armored, fortified structure, which serves as the sort of the head of the watch. Like it's where if you work for the watch, you come here.
Is it the garrison?
It's a garrison, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but this is where he is, which is convenient because if you want his books, you got to go through him. So he comes down and he looks you over and says, well, he looks Nimrilian over.
Oh.
But then he looks. Then he sizes up. He sizes up Joe Jongeron and walks over to him and says, "Ah, yes, Lord Timurticos has told me of your presence.
Excuse me, good sir."
He stops his introduction and looks over to you and says, "Yes, milady."
I am the one who requested your presence.
I see. Well, how can I be of service?
No apology then. All right, I'll continue along. We were hoping to access your library if you happen to have any tomes on demons with deliciously obsidian skin.
Demons with deliciously obsidian skin. Well, that's interesting. As it happens, I have quite a varied library, but I don't think I have anything specifically related to demons per se. I mean, I've got some histories, I've got some religious texts, I've got some.
Might you know with whom we could get that type of tomage?
Yes, the technical term for it. Is it tomage?
Yes. Tomage.
Well, I'm no wizard by any stretch, but I would imagine if you were interested in such things, maybe the Temple of Bokob would be more your spell. If you get my grift.
Wow. Thanks a lot. That was sarcasm. I'm incredibly awful in social situations. I hope you caught that. We are not looking for magic, darling. We're looking for demonology. Those are two incredibly different tomes.
He crosses his arms in front of him and says, "Oh, I'm aware of the difference, but frankly, I really don't care what they are. I only know if they fall to sword or spell. And usually it doesn't matter to me. I find my way through either way. Now, if that's all, I have a temple of my own to manage back."
Nim has already turned on her heel and is left.
Hold on, it's not all.
Oh!
Do you have any books about ziggurats?
Ziggurats? You mean ancient structures, that sort of thing?
Yeah, the type that are found at the edge of the jungle, but also in an oasis desert.
Nim is like tapping her foot annoyedly at the conversation.
Dave on with the puns now. He suggests that Borean should have said, "Don't you take that tome with me, young lady." Yeah. Okay, so he says, "Well, I do have something of a history that might be of use to you. I mean, it's a bit more generalized, but it does talk about religious structures, something of a side interest."
Joe John, I see no use in this man.
Might we just as well take it, or?
Well, I don't think he just gives out his novels. He clearly is a collector, but why not ask? Never hurts to ask.
Could we borrow it for a couple days?
Sure, for you, why not? You're obviously very important to the city.
Boys.
Nice. We really appreciate your time.
Oh, likewise. Tell you what, you you're over at Anatolia's house, I think, yes?
That's right, yeah.
I'll have them send over the book to you. It'll probably be there in a little while.
We can't just take it.
Nim curtsies, knowing that that's the appropriate thing to do when someone has given you something out of the kindness of their heart, but she doesn't make eye contact with him.
He gives you a very equally formal half bow.
There we
Let's
go.
move on.
And a salute to Joe John Duran. Turns on his heel.
Joe John, I
Uh,
did not like that man.
Oh, I didn't like him either.
Oh, what a monster. Monster Slayer? I don't think so. What a
All right,
delight this is.
Making friends, influencing people. So let us swing our camera back to the. Well, first of all, where would you want to go after this? Maybe.
Well, I wonder if he's right that the temple at least would have, if spells are what can bring a demon in and out of the realm, then I suppose sorcerers are whom we might want to speak to.
Okay, so
Jojo?
you're gonna head to.
We have nothing else.
All right, so from where you are on the west side of the Dunwater River. To get to the east side where the temple is, you'd have to cross the Sharkfin Bridge or take a brief swim.
Well, last time I tried to swim, you forced water to push me downstream towards the ocean.
Listen, that was a misstep on your part that you paid the price for. That's all.
I will cross the bridge and take my chances.
Yeah, I suppose wait. Yeah, Nim already did have a good breakfast. Yeah, she's just she's thinking of the bakery that's on the other side, and she's like, all right, if I have to retch, then.
Yeah, what's your total there, Jordan?
Well, of course, I'm adding my
Is it Constitution?
It's a Constitution saving throw, yes.
So
And I just roll 1.
Look at you, like a champ. I think you even have a minus on that too, don't you?
I don't. It's just a 0.
No? It's just a 0. Well, that is still a remarkable failure. So, yep.
Oh wait,
you have
for my
breakfast-
saving throw?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it says 0, but my Constitution is at a 9, so that's -1. So I don't know why my saving throws are wrong then.
Well, we'll look at that later. Either way, the saving throw is total bunk. So you. Yeah. It's the old familiar sensation of crossing the old Sharkfin Bridge, littered with.
Oh, I'm actually getting nauseous just thinking about it.
I rolled a 16 total.
You're fine. You don't know what. I mean, you have a little tremulous feeling as you cross, but it doesn't cause you to chuck up. So yeah, you're maybe you have some tender ministrations towards Nemrelian as she.
Ugh.
pants
Oh, I
her way
actually am
across the
feeling
bridge.
nauseous just thinking about how she's puking. Let's move on.
And you make your way to the Temple of Okov after reflection. So let's pan back to Glonda and Tergar, still at the shipyard, scaring the pants off of some journeyman shipwrights.
Well, things have progressed. We are actually in the middle, as the camera comes back, to a full-fledged performance by Tergar and Glonda. She's roped him in. They're doing a power ballad duo, and this is where the scene finds us.
And that's why you should give us your boat.
You know you want to. You know you've got the right feeling in your gut.
There is some polite and obscure applause, because that's what you do when somebody clearly puts themselves out there. But they're not giving you any boats.
Damn it. All right. Where should we go from here?
When you woke up in the morning and you thought to yourself, how could I make this day a better day for someone
Else.
Huh?
Should have been a bard. That's all I'm saying. I know you're one with the trees and animals and crap like that, but
I perform
Mr.
all the
Calling.
time to the trees, and let me tell you, I'm a huge star with the moss.
you know what? This is the first, Tergar and Glonda storyline, and I'm excited about these antics. We're never alone together.
No,
What's your
true.
favorite color? Green, probably.
me, yeah. You?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Blue. Water.
Right.
Makes sense.
All right.
All right.
Well, what should we do?
Should we go find Kaladek? Is he going to be at the dinner tonight?
Yeah, where is Cal? We don't even know where that guy resides. I'm wondering if
So true.
Glonda, if we should be talking to like people around the area, if they saw anyone outside the shipyard. Like, do you have friends maybe at the Mariners Guild Hall or?
Yeah, we could also try the drunken urchin.
Yeah, have we been to the drunken urchin, Glonda?
I don't. Sorry, I'll let
Let's
you
go.
decide whether you've been.
I certainly have.
Oh, I don't
Would
think I
been.
have.
Well,
Let's
then
go to the
let's
drunken
go.
urchin.
We'll go
Let's see.
there. Worst case scenario, we have some ale.
Yeah.
Okay. You wander down the street to the Drunken Urchin, and this seedy-looking, run-down building houses a popular tavern that caters mostly to fishers and traveling merchants from the nearby marketplace. Despite its tired appearance, the tavern is actually one of the busiest in town, although right now, not so much, because it's the middle of the workday. So there are a couple of old drunks here, but that's about it. A huge sign above the the Drunken Urchin. Dave is saying it's like they're begging to lose their license. A huge sign above the bar shows a sea urchin floating in a large glass of red wine as a particularly pleased man drinks from it. It is Glonda would know special. It's famous for its house special urchin wine. And you know that there's a bit of a gamble in town about drinking disgusting things. And in this case, the Drunken Urchin's version is this wine that's infused with sea urchins. So that is where you find yourself.
I'm going to walk up to the bartender.
Okay. And it's a crusty old guy. You know his name is Ankus Alkovin.
Afternoon, Ankus. It's me, Glonda. Thrasm?
He looks at you and says, "What do you want?"
Were you working here last night?
Yeah, we're working in the bar every night.
Well, did you happen to see on your way out or late at night or hear of anybody at night when they came in talking about some sort of creepy looking green mist across the way at the shipyard?
He looks at you squinty-eyed and says, "Well, I can't say I do recall hear anything like that. I'm going to make a little die roll here to myself." He says, "No, I don't think anybody mentioned anything about no green mist. Just regular old white mist."
That's an awful boring kind of mist.
And Terragar comes up. Oh, so go ahead.
Go on. I was going to make something up because
Terragar goes up to the bar and slaps down. Like, how much do these urchin drinks cost?
An urchin drink, a drunken urchin.
Yeah.
It'll cost you 3 silver pieces.
Okay. And how many people are in the bar right now?
There's maybe 4 people right now.
Okay. So I'll say a round of drinks on me. If anyone could tell me if they saw anything weird last night. So there was a whole bar.
Okay, there's a bit of a hubbub. Yes, last
And if
night,
this information is useful to me, there might be even more silver in your pockets before we're done.
Whoa.
rabble.
What I heard, and this one older guy who's got a cowl over his head, he lifts it up so you can see how old he is. I heard that the crown has dispatched a caravan with enough gold to commission 6 new warships, but it went missing up the swamp area. Is that strange enough for you?
When did this happen?
It happened. I don't know when it happened. I just heard it happened. I think I heard about it last week.
6 warships, you say?
It was 6. And he sips his drink that has been purchased. That round of drinks will cost you 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
Because they decide that they want finer beverages for this particular round.
Sure. And this was a week ago, he said?
A week ago. And then one of the other ones comes over and says, "Oh, that's nothing. You know what I heard? There's that tiefling over down by in the lower part of town there, looking to buy crocodile skulls. She can't be up to anything good."
Oh, that could be decoration. Yeah.
Crocodile skulls? That's the weirdest thing to put on your wall.
So who was trying to buy this?
What's that tiefling? Surely you've seen that tiefling around town.
What's a tiefling?
Is
Dan.
What's a tiefling?
So sheltered.
Yes, it is a race on this in this planet that you live upon.
Okay.
Not very common in these parts, so it does stand out, and it has well, I guess this is topical. Has a demonic heritage, so they do tend to have horns, but you would call them sort of vague ancestors from that line.
Okay, so all right, and so sorry, you say this tiefling was looking to buy crocodile skulls, and when was this?
Oh, she's been here for weeks now. She's from Ayaz, didn't you hear?
Sorry, from where?
Ayaz.
Ayaz, yeah. Okay.
I will spell that out for you and put it in the old chat. So everybody knows about Ayaz, which is a country well north of Keeland, well north of where you live, but it is ruled over by a demigod whose name is Ayaz. And he happened to start up this little war, which encapsulated the country Z in this area for about 30 years. And it's only in the last 10 years has been an uneasy truce has come because so many people have died.
Where's Z?
Ayaz?
Ayaz, but Ayaz was fighting a war with Z, you said?
No, he's been fighting a war with the surrounding, his neighbors, his surrounding
including
countries.
the area that we're in?
Including Keeland, yeah.
So this is a former enemy. This tiefling is a former enemy, and now coming here looking to buy.
I should clarify that. Keeland was not a direct participant in the war. It does not share a border with Ayaz, but it has neighbors that do. So they aligned. They stayed neutral, but they would have provided, economic support. They would have been a good partner.
You know where this tiefling is staying?
What's her name again? Do you remember Zendros or something? Yeah, that's her name, Zendros.
That's the tiefling's name.
That is the tiefling's name. And they tell you that Zendros has set up a shop on the other side of the river, which I have just unhidden for you. It is called the Quartermasters of Ayaz.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ding that for you. Ding. But you don't, you've not met this person or anything about them. And that's all that they give you some other sort of local legends, but they don't really.
Yeah. So she was buying this skull when?
Is she?
Trying to buy the skull?
They say that she's been interested in crocodile skulls for a while, but.
And did anyone see Zendros here last night? Did she come into the bar, perhaps?
No, she didn't come here. No. She's not a fisher. Why would she come here?
All right. Anyone else have anything?
That is all that they give you.
Bartender, another round for these guys.
Wait, let me find a good applause. Light applause. Here we go. Whoa, that's light? Come on. That's not light at all. Should be the slow clap. Okay, so yes, that is all. Let us pan our camera back to Jojanjaron and Imralian as they finally make their way. At this point, Imralian has recovered herself. The winding way up past the Temple of Farlagan, past the Cathedral of Palor, to the Temple of Bokab. The ornate, five-sided structure with a gaudy rotating obelisk up top, fires burning on each of the 5 points. And as Nimralian approaches, the same guard attendant or gate attendant is there, who you had recognized previously, and his eyes perk up as you approach.
Hello again, good sir. How are you?
Whoa, very well, Lady Nimrilian. You grace us with your presence again, and he
I
gives you
do.
a half nod.
Oh.
Is this your retainer who has come with you?
Googling retainer person.
Don't mind. She's just doing some quick Googling first.
Service
before.
to a household.
Yes,
No.
wizards
He
are known
owes
to
me.
do this.
He owes me no services. No. He's a good friend.
I see. A fellow wizard, then. Interesting to be armed.
No. He's a paladin.
Oh, a holy warrior. My goodness. Well, enough of my chattering. How can the temple serve today?
We are hoping to see if you have any tomes on demons, for I have had a terrible experience with one.
Also, if you have any tomes on Ziggurats.
Jojo, we already have one on the way. We can't have too many of the same.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
All right, but if it's the same one, you're going to read it twice.
Demons, yes, we do have some tomes related to demons. After all, they are a scourge upon the world.
Oh, that's really helpful to know, actually. That's a good start.
Well, I wouldn't want to run into one, and they are not to be trifled with. That's what the master has always said. So yes. Please, come in.
Oh, thank you so much to get us out of the rain so quickly.
Well, of course, someone of your stature can't be so soaking wet for so long. Dave is suggesting you should ask for a book on pyramids if you're all done with ziggurats.
Maybe Stonehenge?
Something good. Right, here at the Temple of Bokob, of course, Mylor Orvid is the master of the Wizards Guild, and they send a word, and he comes down to greet you, and he says, Lady Nimrilian, pleased that you would come to visit us once again. I have been informed that you wish to access our library.
I do. Now, quick aside, was he weird to me the last time? I feel he was. And
he was the one.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what weird thing he had, was he trying to ask me to join his temple? But that would have taken a lot of, was that?
This is a wizard's guild.
Yes.
And basically, as an outsider, you are welcome to buy certain products and services from them, but it would be at sort of full price. And there are limits to what they will allow you to access.
Yeah, I wrote that I bought a scroll from the Temple of Bokob, Glanda intimidated for a better price. They went for pastries after Emirates was a bit of a dick.
Well,
that's what I have written in my notes. So
Emirates.
It says Emirates was a bit of a dick, but I the Rastanor, Emirates Rastanor.
These names,
Yeah, the council. Yeah, Emirates Rastanor made the temple north of town.
Yeah, he's a high priest of Bokob. Actually,
okay, so,
right.
So the priest was the douche.
Yeah,
but not the master. Okay.
Yeah.
Emirates priest was douche, but then he on their way out asked us to join, and I was like, that's so lovely. So he wasn't a weirdo, he just wanted me to join.
Yeah, the other guy definitely looked down his nose at you for sure.
Yeah, but Mylor's being nice. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, I've had a frightfully real dream regarding a demon who seems to want to be released from his realm, and it's got me quite concerned, and I'd like to do a little bit more research about it.
I would like you to make a persuasion roll for me, please.
Jojo, while I describe this, do you want to try to balance your sword on your chin just real quick to help me out with this persuasion?
Yeah, how does that help?
Just lets me roll at advantage because you're helping me.
Oh,
yes.
It does help.
What a marvelous display. Of course I will do this to you.
Okay.
Okay. Oh boy, look at this. Now I really must look at these books.
Oh
God, you know what? I don't trust these dice anymore.
Tell you what, I have a really good persuasion. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, because I only got an 8, so that's not going to help.
He He says, I will deal with this one at a time. In response to your query, he says, well, as I explained to you last time, lady, you must be a member of the Order of the Temple to peruse the temple's repository of tomes and such. And we would gladly, be interested in maybe accepting an application and reviewing the process. It would not happen right away, you understand, but if you would be interested.
Dear sirs, I have quite become enamored of your town in the short period of time that I've been here. I'm thinking about getting a cottage here, to be honest with you. And we're not going to be here for very long, so we don't have enough time to get an application in. I am a follower of the goddess Alona. She's my one true love, and I had a sex dream about her last night, and it was quite disturbing. I beg of you, our group has done as much as we can to help Saltmarsh, and we've all had these freaky dreams, and we just need to get to the bottom of it as soon as possible, or else you and everyone else in this town may be in grave danger.
Okay, you don't have to roll because you said all the right things. So at the mention of Andy rolls a natural 20, so yeah. Look at that. It's all coming up Joe Jonderon. So at the mention of dreams, he turns white. And he says, come right this way.
I said dreams as we're scurrying. She's just like, I said dreams.
Say dreams?
Didn't I say the word dreams?
So anyway, he escorts you inside to the grand library, which is in fact a 10 by 10 room with about 60 or 70 books inside. It's about as grand as it gets. But he says our section on demonology is at your disposal, and he shows you 8 books in a row, and they have some pretty glorious titles, which I won't, even dream of. I won't even dream of trying to insult you with. Yes, all right.
Oh,
well,
no, I would love to hear them.
Dave's Demon Tome,
Okay.
and clearly the Compendium of Demonology,
That's 2.
3rd edition. Yeah.
Well, all 3 editions, so that's
that
That's
takes
4.
up 4 right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Parent's Guide to Demon Protection.
Okay. 5.
Yeah. And then we've got let's see, Domville's Demon Directory.
Okay. 6.
And let's see, the Demonomicon. I think that's definitely one we should have.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally we've got
Someone's writing
Zacharias's Manual of Demon Recognition.
Wow, these are cool. Some of these are very rare.
Yes, I know. We're quite pleased with this collection.
Should be.
Here are your complimentary cotton gloves for handling the tomes.
Of course. Oh boy, Nim just like.
Do you need to put our belongings to a clear plastic bag, like when you go to the Library and Archives Canada?
Plastic?
Yes. You please put your 2-handed sword in this bag.
Thank you.
A big plastic bag. Goes right through. All right.
Nim is like frothing at the mouth with all of this. She's just oh boy.
Matt says he gets a licensing fee if you pick up one of those. Okay, so you both can make an investigation roll. It takes you a couple of hours as you go through. Yep.
Oh,
so
good.
Roll and add your investigation.
I'm rolling well tonight.
You are.
Yeah, and I wasn't, but let's see here.
It's a 17.
Yeah, see, every time I roll, it's poor. So
Maybe
far.
it's something you did today. I don't know.
Let me try. I'm just gonna just for funsies roll one more time.
Just for fun? Sure.
See, okay, let's have another fun roll.
Look at that.
Okay,
see,
all right. All right. Fine.
All right.
Anyway, it's +8 to whatever I got, but it's still garbage.
Yeah. So you are going through and you're getting these massive texts, and you find yourself getting lost in the words. You find yourself getting torn into the stories and losing track of the narrative. But there are occasionally little bits and pieces like maybe this applies. Meanwhile, Joe Jondron is going through some of the illustrated volumes, And at the mention of chiseled onyx skin with horns and such, he's like, wait a second, could it be? And you show a picture of a demon that has been carefully engraved. It's a series of woodcuts in this book, and it has been
This must be
titled.
Zachariah's compendium.
Yes, the manual. It is labeled Grazit.
Oh, that looks impeccably, deliciously just like him. I'm horrified and attracted all at the same time. You've done it. You've done it.
Well, is there any description about Grizit that we can read?
Indeed. You cross-reference with another tome. As I frantically get to some information that I have found. There we go. I'll tell you what you need to, or what it tells you about him. Oh my God, here we go.
That's exciting.
Boom. Isn't it? God, this is
Grizit.
not what I want. Yeah. Okay. Called the Dark Prince and the Prince of Pleasure. One of the most powerful fiends in the abyss. He is known to wield an acid-drenched great sword and a profane tower shield, a veritable killing machine when loosed upon the hordes of the abyss. And his is a deeply sexual, erotic being known on many worlds only in legend as a dark figure who visits witches and sorcerers, granting them favors as well as magical powers. His female consorts
Hold
populate
on. I don't think this is the guy.
Nim's just like, oh, I don't know. It seems right.
Okay, let's keep reading.
But otherwise not much more is written. It goes into some stories which you think may be legend, maybe, they seem very out there, attributing a lot of things to him, but he otherwise does not take an interest in the realm, in the material plane that you live upon.
Is there any details on how he's summoned?
No, certainly not.
Or who follows him, or if there's cults that follow him specifically?
It does mention that there is a cult that follows him. They are hedonists to the extreme. They they don't believe in any limits to one's freedom of expression, or any limits to what they could do to themselves or others.
Now, you mentioned he's one of the most feared creatures in the abyss. What's the abyss?
So it's akin to hell. That's what the people of your world would religiously think, that if we're in the world, then you've got
so this
a
is
bad
the
place.
Devil? Like,
well,
the demon?
Probably one of many. It's like there is a whole pantheon. If you imagine like Greek gods, so like there's a lot of gods,
Yes.
There are a lot of devils.
So he's Hades.
Brooke, if you listen to my podcast, specifically the King Paimon episode, I go all into that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
I'll add that to my list after Canada Land.
And what about the wood carving? Is there any ziggurat in the background?
Not in this woodcut, no.
Wow.
It is for all of it. It is a fairly simple and exaggerated drawing, but the is it 12 horns, 6 horns? I can't remember.
6.
Yeah, those are quite clearly illustrated, as well as the hooves, which is why you sort of put the pieces together.
Jojon, I had a premonition that you would kill Turgar with a great sword. What if it's with his great sword? And she shakes him.
Yikes.
Yikes, indeed. This does not bode well.
I'm scared.
As am I, Jojo, as am I. You must pray deeply to your goddess.
So I would like to fade to black at this point and pull us back as a party together at dinner. because I feel like otherwise I'll just have you do, what are you doing next? What are you doing next? What are
You're
you
such a
doing
great
next? And then-
DM.
I know. It's so easy just to sort
We
of
were
say,
going to
no, this
investigate
happens.
all the other houses around us.
Sure.
Could I do one thing though beforehand? I'm assuming that we've come together and we've shared what we've learned in the course
like
of the
that.
day. Okay.
Yep.
What Nimmerling or anyone, actually, I think Nimmerling, you're going to be the highest. Like for our Arcana,
To
the
figure out
connection,
this.
the crocodile skull, and what role that could play in, conjuring or maybe summoning.
Well, so there's two things that Nim thinks after you tell her the various things that happened. One is that she wants to know if she can figure out the specific spell that was used to rot the thing. So do you think, Andrew, is that something that she would know? If it's like a green mist was described, within a minute it rotted a boat, would she know what spell that was?
You could make an Arcana roll on that, sure.
Okay. Okay, but okay. Okay, and then I'm adding Arcana to that. Oh, it's good. 17.
17. That's a great question. You've outsmarted the DM.
Thank you.
Probably a variant on acid splash.
Okay.
But you put the piece together to think that this is some form of acidic cloud that had been conjured.
Okay. And then my other thought is that Nim reminds Turgar that he just asked random people to give him random gossip, and that we might not need to look too deeply into some of the things that were told to him because they were just drunks wanting drinks.
Maybe.
But she will consider about the what does she know about the crocodile spells? Yeah, let's do it.
It sounds like another Arcana roll. Oh, look at you.
All right, and that's 19.
So skulls are a pretty popular spell component, but not particularly in short supply. And why it would specifically be crocodile doesn't really make sense.
I
So
got
you feel
bamboozled.
like this might be some confabulation.
I think they might be xenophobic because those poor tieflings don't get treated very well by common folk.
I still like my drunken urchin friends. I don't regret buying them drinks.
No, I don't think you should.
Glonda?
We're very rich.
I also drank when he bought booze for everyone.
I did buy you a drink too.
You were in the bar.
I kind of hid in the back when he was talking so I could grab a beer.
I would love if Glonda came forward and I heard this.
Yeah.
There's this weird half-elf druid who's got a thing for this other druid.
And we tell the two of them, and Nim's really proud of Jodo too. She's like very impressed that he was able to find it, and that they think we know the name of the demon, but we still now need to learn more about him. But we think we've centered on what demon it is.
Didn't we go to school with a Grazit?
Oh, it might have been an exchange student.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or those funny overalls, but there were shorts.
Short hauls. Mm-hmm.
Short hauls. And he had horns and these beautiful thighs.
Oh, the thighs.
All right, should we go to dinner?
Let's go to dinner. I think that's a great idea. So I am changing the scene. Boom.
Here we go. Get your great sword out, Jordan. There he is. Kaladek is there.
Yes.
There's a lot of people here. Baroness. Fallen. Have we met her before?
People, but why isn't this showing up? That's no good. Maybe if I do this, will it spring into action? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yay, it did show up for the viewers at home. That's great. Okay. All right, so yes, seated around the table are people that you know and people that you have not yet met. So I will tell you that, first of all, when you arrive, it is the mansion, the Timurticos Mansion is well further down the road from your own. It is probably the largest structure here. It is very old and very well kept up. I might even be able to describe it to you. One of the most impressive buildings on the entire hillside, this sprawling mansion has a carved facade and features numerous topiaries of fantastic animals on its grounds. The coat of arms over the gate depicts a winged helmet above a pair of crossed gauntlets on a field of red. So, you are greeted when you arrive. There are many, many servants, many, many guards here. And while you're greeted by the house attendant, Lord Timurticos himself sort of does that thing where he's like, "Oh no, they're please welcome. So glad you could be here."
Is there any? Sorry, is there any connection between the fact that Letisa looks exactly like the apparition that Sandballet was using? As a little girl, that picture of Letisa is literally the exact same. Okay.
Fair. Good memory, but no, she's
okay.
she's slightly different.
Okay.
Maybe in your memory you think it's a different person.
Sorry to interrupt.
Can I just point out that I find it very classist that the servers in the room don't have names but are just numbers. Are they not people too, DM? That's
literally their name. That's how their mother raised them. God.
Thing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay.
It helps to keep them, to tell them apart. They're quadruplets.
They're quadruplets. Okay.
Yeah. So over time, more and more guests arrive, and you are introduced to them as they all come in. So we'll start at the head of the table. Not surprisingly, is Lord Timurticos. You've met him before. He's the mayor of the city. Going around clockwise to his left is his first and elder son. Wait, is that true? Might not be his elder son. It might be his younger son. He's got 2 sons, don't you know? Yes, so Cowan is a younger son, and he's a stonemason. He is somewhat proficient. Sitting next to Cowan is it Letisa or Lausa? It is Letisa. Thank you. And this is the younger sister of Lord Torin Erikin, who you have met. He is one of the counselors. He's listed as Erikin, sitting next to Nimrelian. So he is a mid-20s counselor. His father was formerly a counselor, died before his time, and when you were at the council meeting, he was supremely disinterested in what was going on. Letisa looks excited to be there, but also nothing is good enough for her. So then we have Nimrelian. Seated next to Nimrelian is Audrey Lillibrook, who is an older, dowdy lady who is in charge of the Lillibrook Orphanage, which is a charitable venture that is fronted and supported by Lord Lassiter, who is curiously not here this evening. And next to Audrey Lillibrook is Andrew Solmore. You know him. And then we have Turgar. Next to Turgar at the other end of the table is Baroness Thalamar, who is probably the highest ranking noble in the area. She is a court official, but largely takes care of the paperwork for the count in the area when he's not around. And she is fully decked out and looks like she's made of money. Continuing around the table, we have Keladek the Unspoken. You've met him before. Tall, dressed in red, foreboding, ominous. Sorcerer. Possible imp owner. Mm-hmm. Then we have Glonda. Then we have Janok, who is Timurticos' elder son, who is a successful merchant. Then we have Lady Ivessa, who is the head high priestess of Palor. She's also on the council. You've met her before. And then finally, the only other person you haven't met is Flanagan Lorsk, who is another merchant magnate in Saltmarsh. The way that he and Timurticos joke, they seem to have known each other for a long time. And then we have Jojandron rounding out the table. In addition to the staff you have here, there are a number of guards and attendants that I have not placed. So it's a fairly bouncing room. After milling around, you are brought into dinner and given your seats. And yes, one of those seats is currently empty. So, is there anything you would like to say before they throw random bits and pieces of conversation about you?
Well, we have a very good joke in the YouTube comments.
Me too.
Oh,
Yes. Go on.
About the waiters.
go ahead.
They were told they'd get names, but they're still waiting.
Yeah, that was good.
10 out of 10 from Blonde.
The pun brigade is on display.
Okay.
So, yeah, dinner is a fine affair. Like, no, it doesn't. It seems that Timurticos really enjoys the act of putting on something. It's like maybe he doesn't get a chance to do this very often. And Jojandron's placement at his right-hand side does not appear to be accidental. So he is.
Is Cowan jealous?
No, he is not. He looks like he probably would prefer to be elsewhere, but he's sort of putting on a good face and doing what Dad wants. So you go through at least 2 or 3 courses of some of the legitimately finest food you've eaten. It is really rich and really well prepared. It is far and beyond what you've had Janice prepare up till now. And the conversation has been light and fluffy up till now. Timurticos extols your virtues as a party, the things you have done for Saltmarsh.
Andrew, is anyone,
and-
I just need to know, is anyone doing a painting of each course? Like as it comes, they do a quick painting of what the course looks like so that they can share.
Share it with social media? Yeah. No,
Well, I
that
don't know
has
what you're
not,
talking about. I don't know what social media is, but
No, they haven't done. They have not done paintings
it's
yet.
the night
Would
of
you
dad
like to do that?
jokes. No, I don't. No,
okay.
Targard hates art.
So after all these courses, eventually there's an attendant comes in and goes up to Timurticos' side and whispers something. And goes, "Oh," and he says, "Yes, bring her in, of course." And as the far doors to the west are opened, in comes the night's final guest, a quite lovely-looking woman who saunters in, and she's dressed in an elegant evening gown.
Beautiful.
And up till now, Torin Airkin has been about as disinterested as Cowan has been in being there, sort of poking at his food with his fork. But when she comes in and joins at the table, his eyes are locked at her. Like, he just
Sorry,
suddenly
whose
becomes
eyes?
alive.
Ericans?
Airkin.
Yeah. Okay.
And Timurticos rises, and most of the other men do. I don't know if everybody else does.
I don't.
Dave
Do
mentions
because-
it.
do women rise for women?
No, not customarily.
Okay.
Baroness Tholomar certainly does not.
I have no charisma, so I definitely don't stand.
You
I look
continue to
confused
pull at
as
the
everyone-
chicken bones
Yeah.
with your fingers.
Yeah.
And
Even
so
if
she
I
says-
did stand, no one would be able to know.
Oh, Glonda. Hey.
Oh, short jokes.
You're actually shorter
So-
when you stand.
Yeah.
So Timurticos stands and says, Miss Armistar, pleased that you could finally join us. And she says, "My lord, my profound apologies for my lateness. It was unavoidable. There were some issues at the docks that required my attention." Timurticos says, "Ladies, gentlemen, please let me introduce you to, unless you've already met her, of course, Sasha Armistar, a local merchant who is representing the Windermere family from Gradsell. Sure, you remember them. Oh, yes, the Windermeres, yeah.
Maybe
And she takes a seat at the table.
green.
And again, as she sits down, Erican again is like following her every move and has stopped eating. And then suddenly like sort of pulls himself together.
So we can just start chatting.
You can just start chatting.
I think Nim is curious about finding out which blacksmiths and whatnot the stolen goods went to, because she'd like to follow up on her word about the lizard folks.
Okay. Actually, this is a good idea. Maybe you just sort of throw down the kinds of things you would like to talk to, or people you would like to talk to, or things you'd like to talk about, I should say. and we'll just sort of run down how that plays out.
Yeah, I think Nim wants to speak up positively about the lizard folk and make it known that they were wonderful people. They held true to their word. They're currently being attacked by these other folks, that they, that they would be a good ally to solve Marsh, and also that they would like to be able to purchase some weapons to protect themselves from the Whoozits.
The Whoozits, fair enough.
I think I would be speaking with Anders, who's seated to my right there, to let him know what's happened to our ship, that someone has sabotaged it. And I think this would be done discreetly, not to the whole table, just to say we need to talk some more about this, because it seems that we have enemies in this town, and I think you'd also bring up, I think Tergar might just go right. I think that, and I think I'd talk to the Baroness, because she's right there and it's an important person, and she's giving me some vibes, right? How old is she? Hey, like, is she
mid-20s?
She's human. Okay.
She's
mid-20s, so she's a baby.
Yeah, she's
just
a
a
little
baby.
kid.
I think she's human.
I'd talk to her about the exploits that we had with the lizard folk as well. I think I'm partial to them, and would definitely mention the Ent. I think, though, too, Tergar would mention imps in the town and direct that towards Kaladek to see how he responds to that. Not insinuating that he has anything to do with them, but just that we found one and we thought that was very strange. It seemed to be following us, making direct eye contact with him when that's said.
How about Glonda? What is she interested in? Or
2 things. First, I want to do a perception check to see if I can get any weird green misty vibes off of Kaladek. Second, 3 things. Second, I might just chit chat with Kaladek, see where he is, try to figure out his vibe. Maybe be like, "What'd you do last night?" Friendly.
Maybe between 10 and 11, just ask.
I'm not gonna nothing pointed, just casual conversation. And then I think I'm gonna turn and flirt with Janek, because look at him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oddie.
Fair.
Yeah. Well.
How about Joe Jondra?
I'm gonna tell Timurticos.
I thought the computer froze. And I heard Jan laugh.
Just talk to him about my love of reading. And all of the things I learned today at the library.
Excellent. Okay.
Maybe ask him what his favorite books are.
What about poor Lorsk?
Poor Flanagan Lorsk.
What about poor Lorsk? No one wants to talk to Lorsk.
Well, he doesn't care about you. He is unobtrusively, obviously hitting on Sasha.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about Ivessa? Nim, talk to Ivessa.
Yeah, she's a little out of place, but she essentially is ignoring this wanton display happening over her left shoulder. She might, be interested in talking to Janek as well, in a oh, I'm much too old for you kind of way. So briefly, because I realize we are approaching the end of our time together, but let's go down the list. So maybe Kaladek and Glonda first of all. He's not really a long sentences kind of guy, at least for you it would appear. So you were asking about, you want to make a perception check to see if anything related to a green mist was circulating around him. Maybe you should just roll that and see what happens.
Or anything magical. I don't have detect magic. I know he has magic, but if there was anything weird that I can, what I'm looking for.
I do. That unfortunately is probably not good. Well, unless you got a major perception skill. I don't know.
+5, so 13.
Well, in my world, 9 and 5 makes 14.
You made fun of me earlier for.
Listen, I have certain numbers that adding is just difficult for me, and those
Fair.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, you.
But I'll have you
9
know
and-
that Mark has said to me before, "Oh no, it's an 8. She struggles." Like,
Oh,
this
that's
is the thing.
beautiful. Oh no, it's an 8.
I blame your math teachers at Brookfield High School.
Must be it.
Tell the world where we all
So
went.
you detect no green mist around him and no magical whammy of any kind. He looks like a tall, imposing man with kind of a weird beard, and those red robes are impossibly red. Like the laundry bill alone must be pretty impressive. But beyond that, he's barely touched his food and inspected it in a very analytical way as he did so. And his he answers your questions like, what did you do last night, with answers like, oh, some research, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing much, really. Kind of evasive.
Okay.
Tergar and Anders and Baroness, which one would you want to...
Well, and Keladek as well. Remember,
and
I
Keladek
throw
as-
the,
oh, right, you're...
the imp remarks to him. Let's start with Keladek.
Totally unfazed by your comments about imps, and if anything, he says, yes, imps. A bit of a menace, really. One never knows when one might be approached by an imp.
Okay. Let's do Baroness Tholinar.
She's engrossed in your stories as you sort of talk about your exploits.
The Ents, very much, and how close the Ent and I became. I really feel like I should maybe take some time to go and visit with him again. Spend a good
Ents
quality
are
of time.
real, and they're real, are they? I've just thought they were
Yes,
stories.
they are, and they are magical and majestic. Baroness, magical and majestic.
Oh, Nim's also curious about the dead body. If there's been any more discoveries and detections about that dead body that was like shown to Jojo by the
Have they
fisherman.
been able to put it back into one piece?
Yeah, they sewed it back together. You can hardly see the
Good.
stitches.
Mm.
Before I address that, Baroness says to Tergar, well, I'd love to hear more about these stories of yours, Sir Tergar, giving you an honorific you don't deserve. Maybe you'd like to come out to my estate and we could have a dinner of our own.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Delightful, I'll arrange it. Snap, snap, and an attendant leaps over to her and she whispers something. Cool. Nim talking about Nimralian and her interest in dead bodies. What you wanted to talk to folks? Who did you want?
Yeah,
Oh, hold
I
on,
mean,
hold on.
maybe-
I'm not done. What
okay,
about
sorry.
The Anders,
Oh,
the one.
excuse
The
me.
Anders one.
Oh, right. Excuse me.
Tell Anders about the ship.
Yeah.
You need to be more specific.
Well, I tell him what happened to the ship. That someone seems to have sabotaged our ship with the green
Says-
acid fog.
Wow, that's really strange. Do you know what happened?
Well, no, I'm asking you. Have you heard anything?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Because I feel
Very
bad for
strange,
my
though.
friend Glonda there, just across the table. That
Oh,
like,
there she is. Yeah.
that was supposed to be the ship we were going to use to get her actual ship back, and now we're out of the ship. And I just feel like this is-
At this point, I have a spoonful of peas and I kind of pull it back and I throw it at Tergar. And then he looks up and I say, ask if he has another ship.
Oh, do you have another ship?
He says, well, I don't, but I remember in the context of our council discussion, Lord Lasser had been tasked by Mayor Timurticos that he could put a ship at your disposal. And I would imagine that you could potentially say that this business of yours is related to town business. You might be able to take him up on that still, because I seem to recall your plan didn't involve using his ship.
No, not initially. And yes, of course, our business is your business now. We are at your town's disposal.
Well, that's the way I see it. Wink, wink.
Hey, yeah.
And I'm sure that kind of thing, sticking a bug up Lassiter's nose like that will greatly amuse Lord Mayor Timurticos. They don't get along very well, I'm sure you've recognized.
Yeah, where is he? He's not at the dinner.
Yes, well, I imagine he was invited, but probably did not choose to attend.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll ask him. Thank you, Lord Solmar. You are a good friend to us, and we appreciate your help.
Not at all. For what you've done for our city, I don't know what we would do without you.
Well,
all right, let's roll next to Numeralian and get her and Georgiandron's interrogations in, and before we wrap up for the night.
Yeah, Nim just wants to know, like I said, about the lizard folk, and wants to kind of make it clear that they are worthy allies, and kind of make that clear to maybe the mayor. I don't know. And then she also wants to know more about the dead body.
Okay, well, the quick, long and short on the dead body is that they have no knowledge or interest in these things as long as it doesn't touch them personally, because they're elitist fucks.
Yeah.
But Letisa is like wondrously shocked. She's like, a dead body? What's that?
Oh, yes. It was cut
How
in
did
twine.
he die? No, he wasn't.
Oh.
She really was he? No. And Timurticos says, yes, drained of blood, I hear. Sounds very gruesome. And she's like hanging on every word and says, yes, I've asked the town guard to look into it. Hasn't come up with anything. Useless lot. I mean,
They
if you
probably
can find
need
out anything.
their funding increased, but not for going out and actually harming citizens, but more so for good mental health support and things like that.
Yes. It's interesting you should say. I've been thinking about defunding the police to see if
Yes.
that would improve their
That's right.
efficacy.
I just think changing the resources is more so what they mean when they say.
And the podcast now changes to a different topic.
Okay, and then the question about the lizard folk. Who should she talk to there?
Well, on the topic of that, Erican says, "Oh, they're just brutes, aren't they? I mean,
Oh! Watch your mouth.
well, I don't know. I don't know any personally. I mean, they're
We
over there in
have-
the swamp.
Oh, we have just spent quite a long time getting to know the excellent individuals who live there that run, of course, by different customs, but they are a sound group of individuals who would make excellent allies for your community, and are also looking to purchase some of those weapons that our blacksmiths and whatnot have been received back from the pirates, as they must try to protect themselves from the sea devils.
Oh, yes, the Sea Devils. That's an interesting legend, that. Well,
Oh, legend.
I
or
guess that they
truth?
believe in it.
Oh, goodness gracious, you are such bigots.
So, allies, you say? I mean, I'm displeased enough that they had no ill intentions towards us, but, I mean,
None
how
at
can
all.
we benefit from them?
Well, they also have a common enemy. The pirates that have been stealing from you are also not great to them.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, what do you say, Erican? Do you think that we should be engaging in trade with these savages? He looks
Savage!
back into
That's enough. With your language, you need to increase your vocabulary, young man.
Oh, that was Timurticos who said that.
She says she still means what she says.
Oh, dude, yeah, right. You would actually probably be older than he is. And Erican says, well, I mean, money's money, really. And I mean, the question I would have is, can we spare the weapons? If they're willing to pay for them, I see no reason why one gold isn't as good as another gold.
That's the spirit.
And at this point, Lady Avessa sort of perks up and clutches at her pearls and says, but what if we would have need of those weapons? Surely we would not seek to deplete our own stores. I mean,
no, this
sure,
would-
they're capable fighters and all, but really...
No, you're absolutely right. One must take care of their own first. However, there is a large supply, so I think it's reasonable. If the blacksmiths can make more, then they now know they have a good amount of customers. Trade, capitalism.
Well, I dare say the town wouldn't mind making a fair profit off of this. The deal is already done, as I understand it. It was just merely the method by which these weapons were supposed to be transmitted, which was problematic.
Yes, because you
Well,
weren't
I
doing
see.
trade with them because you're racists. Excellent to
Well,
hear.
I'll tell you what, we'll bring it up at the next town council meeting, and if there's no serious objection, I would have my support. What do you say, Erikin? He says, as you know, I think the town prospers with all trade. Solmore, what do you say? Well, this is hardly the time or place, my lord, but I would agree with our adventuring band that if they think that the lizard folk should be armed, they are erstwhile allies, then I see no reason against it. Excellent. Well, we'll bring it up at the next meeting. But,
All right, but I also know that you do have that bigoted other man, and he can't veto this, right?
Well, it is a majority.
Oh,
that
good.
we seek
Majority.
To find, so.
Excellent. Excellent math. Thank you kindly for this conversation. I am now peopled out. I'm very introverted, you see.
You do note that Timurticos didn't ask Lady Avessa's opinion, and she is also on the council.
Yeah, well,
Just to drop in that last little bit of bullshit. So, finally, George Andron, what kind of book studies did you want to relate?
Oh, I'm just buttering him up. I'm just trying to get him to talk, and I'm smiling at his answers and trying to impress him.
Oh, he will sit there and bask in it for sure.
Yeah.
He tells you about his time here and how he, is a self-made man. That he started with very little and rose over the last 50 years to become the mayor, and has enjoyed great prosperity and has 2 fine sons that have made well for themselves. And at which point Cowan sort of does one of these, like, and you note that Janok, Glonda would also note more than anything that Janok talks a lot about how well he's doing as a merchant, but then sort of pipes in every once in a while, I've got a lot of things that you might be interested in, and I'm sure I could get a really great price for it if you wanted. I deal a lot in home furnishings and some artwork.
A deal for me?
Mim shoots her a glance like, what is that? Am I you? Is that? Are you?
All right, we have, unless there's anything else that we want to deal with right tonight, I think that we have well covered lots of good stuff. And we're well past our red line.
I look back at number 2 and I say, thank you, number 2, for your humane and humble service. I think it's safe to say you and your 3 brothers are the stars of the show tonight. Bravo, everyone! Bravo to the 4. To 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because where's 4? Yeah, there you are. You're great too, but so you're all equally great. Am I messing this up? I wanted them to feel good about the work. Are they being paid? Do we tip? A round of drinks.
Excellent. So let's wrap there for tonight, and I think we are on for next Monday. So thank you, valued viewers, for joining us on our adventures, and we will, unless we have parting words from anybody here.
Great puns today, guys. Keep them coming.
Yeah, solid puns. All right, we will see you in 1 week.